Hello, this is Melissa from Wise Women Healing, and you might notice me, wearing the same things in different videos. I'm trying to catch up on my videos. There was a few weeks when I didn't make a lot of videos because it was just so hot, and even now I have a fan blowing because it's starting to get warmer, and you'll hear it in the microphone. I'm so sorry. I know that can be really annoying, but when it's really, really hot out, I'm reluctant to make videos because of the heat and the wind blowing and everything. So I try to keep this little book up to block the wind a little bit. I don't know if it'll help. So maybe I won't be able to do that. All right, we're just going to have to deal with it. I'm sorry. Part of what I want to talk about with healing isn't just about the foods that you eat and the medicines that you take, going for walks, getting good sunshine, getting good clean water to drink. Speaking, I'm having iced tea. Excuse me. Healing can also incorporate mindsets. And it's going to be really controversial. And so one of the things, I feel like I have to explain everything before I talk about anything. And one of the things I feel like needs to be addressed is how much the world has infiltrated Christianity, especially Protestantism. And I say that because there's really no such thing as a Christian feminist. You're a feminist. If you're a feminist, or you call yourself a Christian feminist, you're just a feminist, and you've really been sucked into the world and the trope that the world has fed to you. Excuse me. There are certain social political issues that are just not part of Christianity. And I can't really talk about them because there's so much censorship out there in social media. You can't talk about Christianity and the things of Christianity. But there are things that the world has fought for. RVW, I don't know if you'll figure that out. Female priests should not be a thing. If you're a woman and you are single and you go to a church that has a female pastor run, I don't care. I don't care if it's Church of England, Anglican, whatever. If it's a Protestant church, women do not belong in the pulpit. And I've been under the leadership of women who have said, that's not what that means. This is what it means. And it's like, no, you're wrong. No, and Orthodoxy, this is one of the reasons why I became Orthodox. One of the many reasons why I became Orthodox is because it is not prone to wokeism. There is so much woke snowflake agenda in Protestantism. So many churches out there just don't look like they're part of the body of Christ. Anything goes. So if you're still single and you go to a very liberal church, that could be why you're still single. That could be why there's few men in your church, and the ones who are there, if they're married, they might be kind of henpecked. What's more important to you? Supporting a political belief system that is not delivering its promises to you, or living a happy, fulfilled life? And make no mistake about it, marriage is not easy, but it's good for you. It's good for you. Now, if you are called to not be married and you're a Christian, then the expectation is that you are celibate and you're not sleeping around. If you're single and wanting to get married, the expectation is that you're not sleeping around. Because the Bible, read Romans. If you've never read Romans, really read it, write it down, look it up. There are specific rules and regulations for Christians. And being loosey-goosey in the sack when you're single, when you're married, whatever, that's not a Christian thing. And yeah, there are restrictions in Christianity. That's what part of being a Christian is you give up the worldly ideologies. and you take on the mantle of Christ, you become Christ-like. That's what the word Christian means. And if you're a single woman and you are not finding a husband based on your current belief system, obviously it's time to change your belief system because it's not working for you. If you're a single woman and you're in your 40s or 50s or beyond and you've never had a long-term relationship, you've never been proposed to, or you've been proposed to and then you never seem to make it down the aisle and take that final step, it might be you that's the issue and not your intended. Are you educated on how to be a wife? And I'm serious when I say that because for some reason, there are women out there. For some reason, there are women out there who have spent more time and treasure learning their master's degree or their PhD or their bachelor's, going to school, whatever it is, and more time and treasure on their career than they have learning how to cook, clean, and be a wife, be a submissive wife, meaning you don't need to have an opinion about everything. If your husband makes the decision and the decision has been made, that's the decision that's been made. Your family life, your marital life is like, or it should be like a finely tuned machine where your husband is the leader. He is the head of the household. You are not. And there's so many women out there that, you're argumentative with your husband. You put your husband down in public. Basically, your husband is your covering and you're sitting there and you're poking holes in your covering. It's like poking holes in an umbrella or poking holes in a shield. Pretty soon there won't be anything left to protect you. And I know some of you out there, I've heard you talk about, well, I do it because my husband's not a good leader, or he's this, he's that. And do you ever stop and think that maybe he'd be a better leader if you would just back off and let him lead? But no, you have to have an opinion about everything. Like, we're partners. We're partners. No, you're not. That is woke feminist nonsense that some man's wife handpicked him into saying so that he could keep getting hot meals and some loving at night. But I seriously doubt that there's a lot of Christian men that would believe in that and support that. Ladies, it's just not how it's written in the Bible. All of you sola scriptura people who like to argue about what is and what is not in the Bible, and then you don't even do the things that are in the Bible that you're told to do. You are told to wear a head covering. You are told to dress modest. You are told to be submissive to your husband, but you get that's cultural. That's not what was being said. Like, you know better what the author of that book meant than the author of the book meant because you're unsubmissive. You are prideful, arrogant, and you refuse to submit. That's it. Your husband, when he comes home after a long day of work, yeah, he wants to hear about your day. Yeah, he wants to hear about what's going on with you. He's interested in you. I don't believe in this, you can't say anything ever at all to your husband. Some people take that just a little bit too far. But he's been putting out fires all day, metaphorically, with work and his boss and whatever. Yeah, he comes home and there's things that you need him to take care of. But really, the first thing that he needs from you when he comes home is you're there at the door and you help. Like, if he has a lunchbox or stuff that he's carrying in from work, gather that with him and help him get in the house, help him take off his shoes, bring him either upstairs if you have stairs or whatever, bring him into the house. Do you want to sit down and rest first before you have dinner, or do you want to have dinner right away? And have dinner ready for him. If he doesn't want it right away, you can leave it warming. If he wants it right away, it's ready to serve. So you've done the laundry, you've cleaned the house, you've cooked dinner. If he wants lovin', you give him lovin'. It's something to where, as a wife and a mother, your life is no longer your own. This whole me time stuff and whatever, no, that's all that changes when you become a wife and mother. Yeah, occasionally you do need to go out and I don't even know how that would happen because, uh, like, you should not be going out with single friends if you're married. There's no more going out and drinking at night, on the weekends, whatever. You need that money for your house. You need that money for food. You need that money for your children. You need that money for a repair on the house, whatever. And if you're married, why do you still have single friends? Single friends are a detriment to your marriage. However you want to do it, you should be escorting single friends out of your life because their agenda is not your agenda. You now have a husband and a house to take care of. So take care of them. Take care of your husband. Take care of your house. Take care of your children if you have them. Your single friends, I mean, like, keep an eye on them. They're going to be single for a long time, probably. And you're the first one, maybe, in your group to break free and go get married. If you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, you're going to get some backlash. You're so young. Your eggs aren't going to last forever. Your viability to get married isn't going to last forever. If you want to get married, do it sooner than later. Don't have that career. Why are you spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for an education that you're not going to use once you get married? Do you know that in the Amish community, the highest level of education that any of them get, not just women, that any of them get is 8th grade? Because Amish consider the rest of the learning to be worldly. They're teaching you worldly things. And they do. I mean, if you see it, where does all the trouble happen in our society? When they hit university and the kids they're out of your house, they're susceptible to being programmed. That's how Chairman Mao did his communistic takeovers. China was through the colleges. Now it's happening in church. It's happening in church. It's really getting tough out there to distinguish the enemy from the truly Christian righteous people. But you can see from the worldly agenda that is being presented in a lot of Protestant churches that there's something going on, but yeah, it's so hard for me to put into words because on the one hand, I don't want to offend anybody. I probably already have. But on the other hand, it's a message that needs to get out. More and more people are talking about it, but it's something that's not talked about enough. And I do see, like, there are certain groups within Orthodoxy that are progressive. If anything talks about being progressive, it's not necessarily Christ approved. There are just very defined male and female roles in Christianity. And, the book of Romans really talks about it. First Corinthians talks about it. Who else? Where there's just, and it's not oppression. People are, oh, it's so oppressive. I can't do this and I can't do that. The happiest children are the children that have boundaries. That's one of the big problems in our society right now is there's no boundaries. There are very few. I'm not saying, okay, I can't say no, but there's very few boundaries. There's very few consequences to your actions. But now we're seeing where the Christian feminist movement, oxymoron there, has really been a turnoff for a lot of men. And men are leaving the churches in droves. And if you hate the whole concept of passport bros, where men go to foreign countries to find wives because you're loud, you're rude, you're condescending, you're unsubmissive, you're dismissive to your man, you treat him like garbage, and then you can't figure out why he wants to go to another country to find a quiet, submissive wife who's cute. She knows how to cook. She's not thinking too highly of herself, and she is there to be supportive, to be a helpmeet, to just be all the things that our society laughs at and condescends. But, you'll be laughing all the way down the aisle as you get married because you're the one that's smartened up. read the Bible and decided to become a biblical wife. If you're someone who's single and you hate being single and you want to, if you want to get married, one, if you want a Christian man, go talk to your pastor. Two, if you want a Christian man, like whenever there's a potluck at your church, you cook something good. Don't go to the deli and buy it. You cook a big container of something. Get a cookbook. I have an Amish cookbook. It's awesome. They have all those rib sticking, good, heavily heavily carved dishes. Get real potato salad, um, real pickles. Like pickle something, can something, make a loaf of bread. Do it with your own two hands, and you make sure people know that you made it. Oh yeah, that's a loaf of bread that I made. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, I made that cake. I hope you enjoy it. Most men are looking for a wife who is agreeable, who can cook and clean, and who enjoys bedroom time. You know, they get opinions all day long. And even as a Christian, if you're not married, and even in polite society with etiquette, there's a saying, you know, give your opinion once a day. That's more than enough. And everybody has been told the opposite of that. I was told the opposite of that when I was growing up, you know, well, except for with my parents. I always had to be quiet with my parents. But out in the world, when you start getting out in the world, speak up, let your opinion be known. You know, I am woman, hear me roar. No, be quiet, be submissive, not to every man. The only man that has authority over you is your husband. Even your pastor and your priest do not have authority over you. It's your husband. That's it. Okay. And if you're a man out there and you think that every Christian woman has to submit to you, you're incorrect, sir. I only submit to my husband. And even my priest knows that and has said that. You don't submit to me, you submit to your husband. So, ladies, I plan on doing more videos on marriage and Christian marriage. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment. What do you want to know about being a Christian wife? Do you want recipes? Do you want cleaning tips? Do you want like what? What do you want? And guys, if you're looking for a Christian wife, a submissive wife, put it down in comments. And all comments are private unless you say it's okay for me to publish them. It's on certain, I won't say this on every video, but on a topic like this, if you don't want your comment out there, let me know. Say private and then do your comment. All right. So we'll see where the fallout is on this video. I hope you have a great day. Bye. Oh, married 20 years in December. I had to change a lot before I could get married, before I could even find my spouse. Be open to change, ladies.